Marine punched, bloodied, ignored. Not a word of protest. Not a single hand reached out. They saw a frail, white-haired old man, a veteran who once saved dozens of lives. He didn't fight back. He simply stood, pulled out a phone, and spoke 5 words. "Nathan, your father needs you." 30 minutes later, 3 military vehicles and a Humvee bearing the American flag stopped outside the bar. And that was when Veteran Stories stepped out of history books, becoming a wake-up call for justice. This is a story from Justice for Veterans. Thomas Mallory, 85 years old, once a U.S. Marine Corps gunnery Sergeantha, saved 40 fellow soldiers from shellfire during the Korean War. He holds the Medal of Honor, yet lives quietly in a small wooden house on the outskirts of town. Every Saturday, he visits an old barone he once owned 30 years ago. No longer the owner. No greetings. Still, he wipes down tables and arranges chairs as if he'd never left. The old guy who cleans the bar, that's all they see. But no one knows that bent back once carried wounded brothers through 8 hours of relentless fire. No one asks, because in this world, honor is too easily dismissed by a head of gray hair. Saturday afternoon, the bar buzzes louder than usual. A group of bikers screeches to a halt outside, exhaust pipes growling like a challenge. Leading them is Kyle, Mad Dog Jensen, infamous troublemaker. He shoulders his way to the table Thomas was cleaning. "Hey, old man, move. This is our spot." Thomas looks up, calm eyes. No words, no resistance, he simply steps aside. But Kyle wants more. He sneers. Then, smack! A punch straight to the old man's face. A glass crashes to the floor, shattering. Blood begins to trickle, and the scariest part is, no one in the bar moves. Thomas staggers, slamming into the table edge, then slowly sits on the floor. Blood seeps from his mouth, staining the collar of his old white shirt. Bartender Elena sees everything, but turns away, keeps wiping glasses. Manager Mark Ramseyonce, mentored by Thomas, just shakes his head and whispers, "Tom, go home. I don't want trouble." The crowd looks away. Some pretend to check their phones. That old man is no longer a sergeant. No one remembers his name. Thomas slowly stands, his hands trembling. He pulls out his phone and dials a familiar number, and he says only 5 words. "Nathan, your father needs you." On the other end, a deep male voice answers after the first ring. "Dad, what's wrong?" Thomas doesn't explain, just repeats, "I need you." In 4 seconds, the son knows something serious has happened. Over 40 miles away, Colonel Nathan Mallory, commander of the 27th Special Operations Brigade, abruptly ends a combat strategy meeting. "Track the signal. Deploy Alpha Team non-lethal." A young officer asks, "We're mobilizing because of a call from your elderly father?" Nathan doesn't turn. He replies with one sentence that silences the room. When he calls, it means justice has been wounded. At Fort Eagle Base, the alarm doesn't signal red alert but a special directive. 3 armored Humvees roll out, heading northwest. Inside, 8 special forces. Soldiers in full uniform, no weapons, no armor. Mission brief is clear. Touch no one. Draw no guns. Bring only presents. Nathan Mallory wears a black coat, not a uniform but pinned on his chest, the medal his father once earned. He feels no anger. Only one thing. Whoever laid hands on my father touched something greater than the military. 4:36 p.m. The bar's glass door begins to rattle, then harder. Outside, 3 dusty Humvees halt. American flags flutter gently in the evening breeze. Doors open. Military boots hit the ground in unison. No one speaks. No orders needed. Nathan steps down last, eyes like ice, empty hands. He stares at the crooked, rusted bar sign, then walks in. A rock song blares, but the moment he enters, the music seems to suffocate. Bartender Elena drops her glass. Manager Mark freezes, and Kyle starts sweating. They don't know what's happening. They only know there's no turning back. Nathan walks straight to the bar, places a small USB stick on the counter. "Give me a screen." Elena, shaking, nods. The big monitor behind the bar switches to security footage. Everyone watches. The punch, Thomas falling, the blood, the crowd's indifference. Kyle chuckles nervously. Just a minor scuffle. But video doesn't lie. Nathan doesn't shout. He speaks only one line. When truth is brought to light, it doesn't need weapons to make the guilty retreat. The bar holds its breath. This silence is from shame. Nathan turns to Kyle. Eyes locked. No rage, no threats, just clarity. "You're Kyle Jensen?" Kyle stands, trying to stay calm. I didn't know who he was. Just a misunderstanding. These old guys." Nathan cuts him off. "That old man is Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Mallory. He saved 14 men on Hill 312 under a storm of fire. And you, Kyle? Who have you ever saved?" Kyle lowers his head, speechless. Nathan steps closer, speaking loud enough for all to hear. "When you hit someone just because you think they're weak, you announce to the world you're a coward." Nathan turns to the bar manager, Mark Ramsey. His gaze isn't angry, just disappointed. "You knew who my father was, didn't you?" Mark says nothing. His hands clench a bar rag, eyes fixed on the floor. "He gave you your first job. Paid your mom's hospital bill without telling a soul." Mark whispers. "I was scared. If I defended him, we'd lose customers. I couldn't." Thomas, still recovering, nods gently. He doesn't blame him. He simply says, "A soldier doesn't die from the first bullet, but from the comrades who ran." Nathan gives a signal, just a simple hand gesture. 2 special ops soldiers step forward, pull out a laptop, and decrypt the surveillance footage. Mark, still looking down, is handed a file. "File the report. Do the right thing. It's not too late." He takes the pen, his hands shaking. But this time, from guilt. Just then, local police arrive. No one invites them, no resistance. Kyle is handcuffed, silent, no protest. As he's escorted out, he quietly asks, "Why didn't you guys hit me back?" A soldier answers softly, "We're not here for revenge. We're here to remind you, honor isn't a joke." When it's all over, Nathan walks out of the bar. Thomas is standing at the door, not speaking, not reacting. Evening wind stirs the flag. Golden light spills over his worn military boots. Nathan stops, turns toward his father, stands tall, raises his right hand to his temple, perfect military salute. Thomas slowly returns it. No one laughs, no one cries. Then Nathan steps forward and embraces his father firmly, without hurry. Around them, the street falls silent. Some place hands over hearts. Others quietly turn away. No words are spoken, but everyone knows this is a moment of honor. A week later, the bar puts up a new sign. The old wooden plank is removed, in its place engraved in steel. Built by warriors, guarded by legacy. No one calls Thomas the old man who wipes tables anymore. People invite him to sit. They ask him questions. One evening, a young biker returns quiet. No beer, no yelling. "My name's Troy. I was there that day. Today, I came to listen to you. Not about war, but about how to live like a soldier." Thomas nods, his eyes lighting up. The greatest lesson isn't in bullets or medals. It's in how we own our mistakes. In a brief interview after the incident, a journalist asked Thomas, "Why didn't you call the police or someone closer? Why call an entire special forces unit?" Thomas smiled, not smugly, but with the calm of a man who's seen enough life. "I didn't call my son because I was weak. I called because something right needed to be protected. Not my body, but my honor." Then he looked straight into the camera. There are things, if we don't stand up for them, we lose who we are. Thomas didn't need fists to defend him. He only needed a world that doesn't forget those who sacrifice for it. That punch wasn't just thrown at an old man. It struck memory, justice, and the gratitude we're slowly losing. But when a son, a soldier, and an entire community rises up, honor is no longer a relic. It becomes a living legacy. If you believe no veteran should be forgotten, if you've ever seen your father, your grandfather, or yourself in Thomas, share this story and comment. I stand with justice for veterans. Because justice doesn't come from words. It comes when we choose not to stay silent